let's get right into what you can expect this month. We have, and also I want to mention, I haven't figured out how to electronically draw the planetary symbols on my chart. So until then, I'll be using asterisks to represent the various planets. All right, so let's get right into it. On the 31st, we have a nice trine. We have Mars in a trine to Neptune. And for you, you're going to feel like your creativity is heightened by your connections with people from other cultures. You might have romantic encounters with people from other cultures around this time. Um, your broadcasting and publishing um, creativity just might be through the roof. Okay, so broadcasting looks good for you, publishing looks good, your connections with people from other cultures all look good under this aspect. Okay, so that is on the 31st. Now, on the 3rd, we have the Sun in Gemini. So let's use this green asterisk to represent the Sun. We have the Sun in Gemini in a trine to Saturn in Aquarius. So this is an aspect where you're going to feel like there's a transformation happening within your home and family dynamics. So that's another great trine for you. It's another great aspect for you on the 3rd. Let's move on to the 5th, because on the 5th we have a square. We have Mercury in Gemini in a square to Neptune in Pisces. Okay, so even though you're going through this transformation around this time, it might not feel so easy around the 5th. Okay, so as you can see, Mercury is going to be in Gemini and Neptune is going to be in Pisces. Okay, so there's going to be a bit of a challenge between the creativity that you're trying to put out and the actual transformation that you're going through around this time. Okay, so that is on the 5th. Now, also on the 5th, we have a major opposition. We have Mars in Cancer in an opposition to Pluto in Capricorn. So let's look at that. Mars in Cancer, so that's acting as Mars. And let's move this over here to act as Pluto. So on the 5th, we have Mars in Cancer in an opposition to Pluto in Capricorn. So there might be a bit of a uphill battle related to, maybe you have the type of job where you have the opportunity to travel overseas, but instead of getting that job, you end up getting a job where you just have to travel locally. So you might not feel too good about that, or it could be vice versa. Maybe you have the type of job that maybe you wanted to stay local, but your job wants you to travel overseas. So there could be a bit of an uphill battle or an uphill struggle related to those areas. There could be a major uphill battle related to you writing a book versus you publishing a book. Maybe you might have the book written, and when you bring it to the publisher, they want you to make so many different changes, and you might think to yourself, why didn't I just self-publish? That might be an example of an uphill battle that happens for you around this time. But overall, that is happening on the 5th. The 5th, you can expect some type of uphill battle related to maybe overseas travel versus local travel, writing versus publishing, something like that, okay, around the 5th. Now, let's move on and talk about what you can expect the week of the 6th, because this is the week that we have the new moon in Gemini on the 10th, and it is a solar eclipse, so it is going to be a major new moon. So since it is happening in your area of your life that deals with your transformation, this is the perfect time for you to set intentions related to the transformation you want to see in your life. Then on the 11th, we have Mars moving into Leo. And a lot of people are happy about that because Mars is actually in its detriment in Cancer. So it is good news that Mars is moving into Leo, okay? So that's on the 11th. Now, let's look at the next week. the week of June 13th, because we have a nice sextile. We have Venus in Cancer and a sextile to Uranus in Taurus. So let's look at that. So we'll use this asterisk as Venus, and we'll use the blue asterisk as Uranus. And they are in a nice aspect to one another. So you're going to see that you might be thinking about entering into a contract related to broadcasting or related to publishing. This is a great time for you to entertain that offer because of this aspect. Now remember, Mercury is still retrograde at this point. So even though this is not a great time to sign a contract, it's a great time to entertain any contract related to broadcasting, publishing, higher education. Like you might be a professor who's looking to renegotiate your contract. Because remember, the seventh house can deal with contracts as well. So this is a great time for those of you who enter contracts on a regular basis. This is a great time for you to entertain and read over contracts. And you might want to wait until Mercury goes direct and is out of the shadow period before you actually sign the contract. But this is a great aspect for Scorpio rising, and this is happening on the 13th. Okay, now one thing I do want to talk about is the fact that we have a square on the 14th, and the square is between Saturn and Uranus. Okay, so I'm going to move the green arrow over here and act as Saturn. So we have Saturn in Aquarius, and it is in a square to Uranus in Taurus. So a square represents a challenge. And whenever we have this particular aspect, it represents tension. It represents a tension that, a point of tension. Okay, so we have Saturn in Aquarius. Saturn represents the old way of doing things. And we have Uranus in Taurus representing something new that's trying to be birthed in your life. So there's going to be something new that you want to do related to partnerships or related to contracts. And Saturn is going to be looking at you like you should do this or that differently. Okay, so that is going to be the point of tension for a lot of Scorpio risings. Okay, there's going to be a challenge between the old way of doing things and the new way of doing things. And Saturn is right there in your area of life dealing with home and family. So Saturn is looking at you saying, yes, I know you want to do this or that with your partnerships, but we do things differently around here. We've done it this way for so many years, and this is the way you should stick to it. So Uranus is trying to bring something new into the picture. So just know that around that time, you will have that challenge going on, and that is around the 14th. The exact date is the 14th, and this is New York City time. But remember, in astrology, don't get caught up on exact dates because you can feel the energy of these aspects. You can feel it before the 14th, you can feel it on the 14th, and you can feel it after the 14th. So just know that around this time, there could be a challenging energy related to partnerships and contracts as it relates to your home and family situation. So that's on the 14th. Now let's move on to the next week. Let's move on to the week of June 20th. So on June 20th, we have the sun moving into Cancer. So happy birthday to all the Cancers out there. We also have Jupiter going retrograde in Pisces. So for you, Jupiter is going retrograde in the area of your life that deals with creativity, that deals with romance. So when Jupiter goes retrograde, you might find that things slow down as far as in the romance department or in the creativity department. You might find that there's a little bit of a slowing down of things happening in that area for you. That's on the 20th. Now on the 22nd, we do have Mercury going direct on the 22nd. So that's good news also for a lot of people. Now on the 23rd, we have another nice trine. We have the sun in Cancer in a trine to Jupiter in Pisces. So the sun in Cancer is in the area of your life that deals with overseas travel and legal matters, and it is in a nice position to your creativity. So again, you might find that you're feeling more creative than usual around that time. Okay. Now let's move on and see what's happening the week of June 27th. Because on June 27th, we have Venus moving into Leo. Venus is joining Mars in Leo. So Venus is going to help you with your public image and help you with your career right along with Mars. Okay. And there is one opposition you need to watch out for on July 1st. We have Mars in Leo. Let's put it up here. We have Mars in Leo in an opposition to Saturn in Aquarius right there. Let me move this over. Mars in Leo. So we have in opposition between what's going on with your public image and with your career versus what's happening at home. You might be working too much and your home and family life is falling by the wayside, or you might find yourself taking time off from work in order to spend more time at home. Okay, so there's going to be a bit of a struggle there around July 1st. So just watch out for that. But other than that, that's everything I have for you for this month. Visit my website, Metaphysical Moonlighters. You can receive daily screenshot readings on my website. And also, please like this video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. I definitely appreciate it. Until next